Hello everybody, my name is Panders and welcome to part 3 of how to make a Let's Play. If this is the first video you're watching, then please go watch the other 2 videos first. They have a lot of information on how I do all the pre-production and the production of all of my Let's Plays, and this will be covering the post-production, so all of the editing that goes into making my videos feel like they flow really well. So just like the other videos, this is going to be formatted between theory and production, and if you're looking for something specific, maybe about editing or about storytelling, look down below. There is timestamps, so if there's something you're looking for specific, just check down there. So let's get right into this. They say that stories are made 3 times. First in the planning, second in the production, and third in the editing, which is right here. And this is arguably the most important part because this is what can really make or break a video. You see, when a video works well, it just kind of flows. There isn't any resistance. Everything works kind of perfectly. Everything feels like it should, and the editing can really make that cohesiveness feel like it's natural. However, your editing could also make things feel choppy. It can feel like it goes fast, slows, and just stops abruptly, and then it starts again but stops randomly. Your editing really can do a lot of good or bad for your video. So I really want to go over the theory to explain what I mean by that. When planning out this episode, it was really difficult for me to decide what to actually include. You see, you might know how to edit, but that doesn't mean you're a good editor. There is a lot of theory behind editing. I'm just going to go over a couple things that I think are very important and vital to Let's Plays. For example, jump cuts. Jump cuts can be pretty effective. Don't know what a jump cut is? Well, it's basically this. See how I'm here, and now I'm here, and now I'm here, and now I'm here. A jump cut is basically something that happens when you cut and there isn't a major difference in either the camera angle or focal length. By that I mean, if I cut like this now, see, that is a major difference in angle. This is a major difference in angle. This is technically a major difference in focal length and angle. It quickly became a staple on YouTube to have jump cuts to kind of correct the imperfections in people's speech. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is that a stylized look that you're going for? Do you need to even cut your footage in the first place? What are you trying to achieve? Your cuts have a very strong energy behind it. Every cut does have an effect behind the story that you're trying to tell. So you do have to use them wisely. Do you use them every second, or are you only using them specifically to show that time has lapsed? It's really something that is a tool to be used depending on what you're trying to say in your story. So that's something that has to be used sparingly or empowering. You have to decide. This is a time lapse from episode 8 of my Let's Play. You'll notice here that every time I change the angle, I change it at least a 30% difference, which is kind of the rule of thumb to avoid getting something from making it look like a jump cut. So I drastically overchange the angle to make sure that it doesn't look weird and the story continues to flow, but still continue to show that I'm building a house without making it feel like it's too jumpy or out of sorts. And that's why the flow of most of my time lapses work really well. Flow is kind of what I try to achieve in all of my Let's Plays. I think that's why mine are so easy to watch. You'll notice that as I even change the angle, I don't really skip a beat. Things kind of keep on working as if it was meant to be. And that's a really strong tool to use when you're editing or even when you're trying to plan out what to say. You can change where you are, but still make it feel like you are still continuing the same sentence. You have a lot of control in the flow of your editing, and that's something that is a strong and powerful tool that, again, you won't get overnight. This is something you need to practice. I have thousands of hours editing, and I still don't think I'm that great of an editor, but it's definitely a skill that can be learned. Let's move on to the application portion of this video. Again, I'm not going to teach you exactly how to edit because you might not even be using the same editing program that I am. Again, I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. This is where I do pretty much all of my audio editing, all of my special effects, and just my simple timeline editing. There are specific programs used and meant to be used for audio. For example, Adobe has a program called Adobe Audition, which is specifically for high-end audio enhancements, and even Adobe After Effects. After Effects is meant for special effects, but for what we're doing with our Let's Play, I feel like those are a little bit overkill. Everything I would want to achieve, I can probably do within this one program. Down here, this is a typical timeline for every one of my Let's Play. Every line you see here is a cut. It seems like there's a lot, but I also have a couple of sections where I kind of rant for a little bit, but I kind of intersect those and try and use that to understand what's happening in my video. If it feels like this is going to be a more dull section of my video, then I'll try and cut it. I'll try and add a little bit of an energy, or maybe I'm trying to time lapse, like I said, and I'm trying to add in all of those extra angles. I can't really play it while I'm recording just because my computer is a little bit slow, but this is a typical time lapse. Each of these clips is increased by, let's see, I think this one is 5,000%. So a lot of the time that I put into the time lapses is pretty intense, and it's all capable because of this editing program that I just increase the speed. Other than that, again, it's understanding how to use your program and how are you going to tell your story. Now, if you're looking for specific audio effects that I use, I do actually edit my voice a little bit. If I can switch over to my audio tab, I am not an audio mixer. I am not good at it all. I had to Google a lot of how to, one, reduce white noise in the background of my audio. I had to reduce the white noise from my computer fan because it's kind of loud. I was curious, how can I increase the depth of my voice? How can I make it sound more full? That is what all of these are. If you are an audio engineer, let me know. Maybe I can ask you some more questions and pick your brain down in the comments, but these are the effects I have. The one interesting one is when I do record, for whatever reason, I'm only recording on left audio instead of right, which means if I were to turn this off, my audio would only be coming out of one speaker for you guys or one headphone, which a workaround is I allow it to fill the left headphone with the audio from the right, which gives it a fuller mix. I really don't know why that happens, and I wish I could figure that out. I've tried quite a couple of times. The denoiser, like I said, it's supposed to help reduce some of the white noise in the background from the fan in my recording area. The dynamics is supposed to allow it to make it feel deeper. Supposedly, I played around with it. I haven't really noticed too much. Maybe I'm not doing it right. I'm not too sure. The treble, I notice my mic seems a little tinny, and I don't like that. It seems kind of robotic. So in order to get rid of that, the treble is offsetting it. So again, this is audio stuff that I can't really explain it or go into too much detail, but these are the settings that I kind of pay attention to when I'm editing my audio. And the mastering allows me to have a little bit more of a rich voice, which brings my highs and my lows higher and lower. It's kind of like making what's available with my voice to the fullest dynamic range, I think. Again, I could be wrong with that. I used a lot of Googling and YouTube tutorials to kind of figure out everything that I could do with these audio effects. But those are kind of the most important ones, as well as, if I can remember, I believe it's right here. So you'll notice that these lines here are changing depending on what's being said or what's being done. I change those. Do I sound lower for some reason in the last clip? Then I gotta lift that audio. Do I sound too quiet? Well, then I'll bring it down. Whatever it might be, I change it accordingly, and I do change it with the audio, as in the music that I'm playing. I try and balance it pretty well, seeing as how I'm doing a Let's Play and my commentary is a heavy a component of making it interesting. I'm trying to get the clearest audio possible. Now, this is going to be pretty difficult. I actually mentioned it in the last episode or clip, which is this here. If you recorded your audio properly, so if we listen to myself speak here, yeah, I'm gonna finish the detailing on these sides. You'll notice my audio is peaking, or at least getting levels between 12 and 0. That was set up beforehand in OBS in our actual production. And when it actually gets transferred here into our audio settings, we are able to see where we're hitting. Now, if we want more game sound or less game sound, this is where we do it. Remember, I said we're recording those audio tracks separately. So if I want more game sound, I simply raise my levels. If I want less, I lower it. Maybe something happened awkwardly. Maybe there was too much villager noises. I can lift and lower it here, but it's also affected by your actual game settings, which I showed in part 1 of this series. So I know this is a very in-depth section for the audio, but it is an important part of editing. Now, in terms of the actual color, I don't do too much color grading or changing of Minecraft. I feel like everybody is pretty accustomed to seeing a certain color when they're playing. So if I were to change it too much, then it might feel weird. So I kind of leave it at the default of what it is. I don't do that, but it's all about the timeline editing. and making sure that, again, I'm going to say what I said in the theory, making sure everything flows. That is kind of the most important part of editing. Are you telling the story that you want to in a way that makes sense, is cohesive, and isn't too jarring for the audience? If there's something specific you're looking for or you don't know how to do, seriously, I just recommend YouTubing it, Googling it. I can't go over how I do every single effect because I don't know what program you have or what experience you have. So I do recommend watching in-depth tutorials by just searching it. This is YouTube. Literally everything is on there. It's fantastic and amazing. Now, this actually concludes part 3 of how I make my Let's Play. The only thing left is to publish it, to put thumbnail and put it onto YouTube. That itself is its own series. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to show you guys how I do my thumbnails and what goes into me actually uploading a video. If you want that, I'll consider making that. But the only thing left for you guys is to practice, make Let's Plays, keep on getting better, keep on making mistakes, keep on improving. The only thing you really have to do is don't forget to hit record. My name is Panders. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something over these past 3 series. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you in my Let's Play. Bye.